But I will tell you, having the kids be so young, running these campaigns was easier than if they were teenagers, because they don't know any of the stuff that comes your way.
You remember Beef O'Brady's?
Oh man, so I'm a lieutenant junior grade in the Navy, stationed in Mayport, Florida, which is northeastern Florida. And I'm done with baseball. My buddies were done with baseball. A lot of us started to get into golf. So we had a trip planned in 2 weeks from the time to Bethpage Black in Long Island, which people that know golf, it's hosted the US Open, just hosted the Ryder Cup, but it's a public course and one of the most difficult courses. And so I'm on base that day, and midway through the morning, something hits me and I feel like crap. And my officer in charge is like, "You look like shit." And I'm like, "Well," he's like, "Just go home and relax. Just sleep it off and come back tomorrow." So I go back and I just pass out on my couch. And one of my friends calls me. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm not feeling." He's like, "You better get your butt to the range, because Bethpage is going to eat your lunch if you don't." So I got up, put on my golf stuff, went to the local driving range, a mile or two from my apartment. And I'm sitting there, and there's a bay with half of the balls missing. Someone left. And then there's another bay where there's this young girl that's in this beautiful golf outfit, very pretty, and she's whacking balls. And I'm like, you know what? You're never going to hit a pitch if you don't swing at it, right? So you just take the swing. So we started talking, kind of negotiated over those balls. I think she kind of thought I was okay, but I think I liked her better than she liked me. So I'm like, let's just go grab a bite to eat, let's grab a beer, whatever. This was before smartphones. This is 2006, so we had flip phones. And I get in my truck, she gets in her car, I'm like, "Follow me." I didn't know where the hell I was going, right? I was pretty new to that area. I had just gotten in duty 6 months earlier. So I'm going, and I'm like, "Just follow me." And I'm like, "Oh, please don't lose her. Please don't lose her." Going, the first thing I see is a Beef O'Brady's. So I do a massive turn in there. So we're sitting in Beef O'Brady's for kind of our first official date. And then we ended up just continuing, and kind of the rest is history.
The relationship between the two of you on the personal and professional front seems to be kind of second to none. When there's an issue that comes up that you're dealing with, or a policy making type decision you're thinking through, what's the dialogue that you have with somebody like that?
Well, I think it's just, she is very supportive, right? I mean, she's never come to me and said, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that." Now, part of that is I think that she views that as the appropriate function, and to not inject herself more so as a spouse, but I think also is she's a true believer. A lot of Republicans will see, "Oh, this guy will be running, he'll say all these good things," and then they worry about the spouse pulling them left, right?
She said she was a Republican when you guys met, but that you made her a conservative.
Running for Congress is one thing. You get there, and I worked really hard, and my constituents like me, and I got reelected with big margins and everything like that. But how much impact do you really have on people's lives? As governor, you have huge impact on people's lives. I mean, especially with COVID, she's had a huge impact on people's lives. And so to be able to be doing things that are going to be meaningful to people, that makes a big difference. And she really takes her ability and the position she's in seriously to say, how could I help do things? And she's launched a lot of very successful initiatives.
It's funny, when I was talking to her about this yesterday on the phone, she was very quick to say, "This is you making the decisions, you doing the work." And I'm like, I get that, but man, you could be so lucky to have a partner in life that you trust explicitly, whose opinion you value. That is a huge net positive.
She's kind of selling herself short, but
right.
if I'm negotiating an education package, she's not injecting in that. I handle it, I got elected, whatever. But on her initiatives, where I say, you know what, so she had breast cancer, she fought it, we went public with it because we just felt that we owed it to the people, but she was an inspiration for a lot of people. She's now driven support from the legislature for new cancer initiatives. We were just at Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville because of the Casey DeSantis cancer innovation, they're now doing the first carbon ion cancer therapy in the entire Western Hemisphere is going to be in Jacksonville in Florida because of what she did to move the ball forward. She's done in a whole host of other areas where child welfare, food testing, all these different things. That's not me doing it and then her taking, that's her doing the difficult work to be able to bring all this stuff to fruition. And you know, she does it. She gets paid $0 to do it. Never gotten anything for anything she's ever done. It's purely because she believes in the mission.
There obviously have been news stories about the idea of your wife, running for governor. I brought it up to her yesterday, and she's like, "I'll address that at the appropriate time."
Well, here's the thing. I mean, like, she's never wanted to run for elected office. It's just not what she's aspired to do. But when people see her out there, you're not going to find a more articulate spokesman for conservative ideas than she is. You're not going to find somebody more telegenic than she is. She's flattered that people ask her and that they see in her leadership, but she's also she's got young kids and she's a mom and she puts a lot of work into that. This is prime time for their upbringing, right? And we've been able to manage it well on this, but I will tell you, having the kids be so young, running these campaigns was easier than if they were teenagers because they don't know any of the stuff that comes your way, right? They don't know what they're saying about, oh, your dad's this, your dad's that. Because the reality is when you get out there and you put yourself out there, you are gonna get so much stuff and 99% of it is total bunk, right? But if a kid is hearing, a 13, 14-year-old kid, that may be something that wouldn't be as easy to deal with. And so having done it then, I think they've had a good experience, but that's, I think, more of just the family life is going to shift.